Hey guys, it's Bass Sensei here. Sorry for the reading glasses. I am 52. So this week I'm going to actually do a longer video, and this is going to be a instruction, basically kind of overview video of how to install some EMG electronics into a passive jazz bass. So I've got here the PA-2, which is a afterburner switch. It's primarily made for guitar. But I have this Roadworn 6061 wiring type jazz bass, and because of the vintage output of the pickups and the stacked knob configuration, it is considerably less volume than my other basses. So instead of altering that wiring and keeping that tone for that bass and putting EMGs in it or something, I figured I'd just do this afterburner switch. So here we go. Okay, so here's what you got with the kit. Here's the switch itself. And underneath there, if you can see it, I don't know if you can. It's a little trim pot, and then it's just a two-way toggle switch. And you have all these quick connects, okay? So, basically, per the instructions, all you need to do is you take your leads that are output, and it's marked. And the instructions right here show you where those go, and those go up top, arrow up. Some of the earlier EMGs had one that you had to do arrow down, and it was kind of a pain in the tail because you didn't know. All right, so the second lead, and they supply you with plenty, but the second lead you need to cut and prepare for a solder and heat shrink connection. So we've got those ready. Actually, I've already tried it, so my wires are a little bit something like that. All right, and then you put that in, arrow up, second one down. And then you got your battery power, and that's a single lead that they give you. And you pop that in. So there's all your connections to the switch itself. Now, at this point, it also, this longer lead that's the output has those kind of electrical connectors, and it comes with the supplied jacks. Well, we're going to install that jack too, because it needs to have that continuous power, or that power that's only on when the plug is in there, and that's why that third lead is happening. And then there's your battery hookup. So it's very simple, okay? Nothing to it. Oh, yeah, I'm sitting there looking at it. You got a battery bus. So you got to put that battery bus in and then connect your positive lead from your battery into that. And that connects your battery to the PA-2 itself. Okay, so that's basically, that's all your wiring. And the only thing you're going to have to solder or twist connect is these two leads to the output leads of the existing pots. So very little modification. This goes in last, basically right between the pots and the jack, which we're going to use those. Okay guys, so the first thing we did was unpack everything, and we went ahead and got everything wired up. Here's the switch here, and it has a trim pot on the bottom that will let you cut it or boost it from 0 to 20 decibels. So I will be able to fine-tune the volume of this bass compared to my other ones. So we did all the wiring harness plug-and-play wiring, and that leaves us with just our two leads that come from the controls. So in order to test this and see if it works, I figured I'd just tack on these to the output leads that go to the existing jack. So we just did that, and it does work. So we are going to proceed with the rest of the modifications. Because of the stacked pot wiring in this bass, you can see here that I don't have any room in this control cavity to put the battery. So what we're going to do is we're going to route out underneath the pick guard and make a spot for this battery. All right. Okay, so we do have our battery compartment routed out. And we've got, let's see, what did I do with the battery? Shoot, I don't know. Well, battery fits in there, and a little bit of a chamber there to let the leads go through down into the body. I've figured out one problem here. This PA-2 is actually a little taller than the compartment itself. Now, I've checked this thickness with the body, and we have plenty of room, so I need another 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to do that in the area that I'm going to install it with a chisel. Okay, we've got us a little bit of a moat there chiseled out so that we can get the PA-2 to mount flush. Be careful, you've got about 1/4 of an inch on these jazz bases here, but not a whole lot more. We needed an 1/8, so had to be very patient and take it step by step with a chisel, but we got it. Now, the next step will be to locate and drill on our plate for the switch. Okay, we've got the it's slightly bigger than 1/4 inch is what is needed for this. I'd say maybe a what'd you say, 9/32 or something like that. Now let's get it mounted and check for fit. Okay, so the PA-2 is mounted. We've got the output leads soldered and heat shrunk to the PA-2, or actually that goes to the jack. Now we're going to try and get all these wires stuffed right so we can get it fit. After a good bit of wire stuffing and stuff, there's a lot of wires in there now with the electronics and the originals. Here's our switch installed. And I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little alien tape down in the battery compartment so I can keep that battery from moving around too much. Battery mounted, flush, pick up back in place. I think I'm going to polish up that pick guard. It's that 4-ply pick guard that's vintage style, but it's got a matte finish on it. I think I'm going to polish it a little bit before I put it on. All right, pick guard installed. All right, guys. Now we've got her strung up and ready to test out. Let's hope I got all my wiring right. All right, guys, Bay Sensei here. I hope you enjoyed the install. I didn't film like the actual procedures. So if you need some help on that, please message me. We're going to go ahead and give this thing a test run. I've got it tuned up, and I've got it in the passive jack of my amp. And here we go. Oh, all right, So I've got it set to about 10 decibels of boost, which matches my other jazz bass and my active basses. So I think the output is pretty good. If I need to fine tune it, you can just pop the control cavity and make a trim pot adjustment with a little micro flat tip screwdriver. So hey, a great mod to keep the sound of a vintage instrument. All you're doing is boosting it. It's just like volume, it's just right here. So hope you enjoyed this episode. It was the first long video that I've done. And keep on rocking, keep on playing bass, and keep on goofing around with gear. Until the next time, I'm Bay Sensei. You're dismissed.